number one was the education, that I didn't feel like my children were getting an appropriate education or an education that would set them up for a future. I also, as my girls were getting older, I didn't want to push them into a place where they wouldn't have any alternative but to get married young and have children before they really decided what they wanted to do with their lives. So I knew I had to leave before it got too late for them. I prefer to focus less on practice and more on the way people live. And I think that when you work towards bettering the world in some way, whether that means that, you know, on a personal note in my house, we don't use paper towels anymore, we use cloth dish rags and we clean everything with that because we're doing a little bit for the environment in our own small way. And for work, I work to improve the lives of tens of thousands of ultra-Orthodox children in New York. And as long as you're living in your life in a way that you can go to bed at the end of the day and thinking I did something good today, I think that's a Jewish value, and I would value that much higher than Jewish practices. I think it's important for people to know that a lot of what people see about people leaving is very carefully scripted, and it's all very Hollywoodized, and that's not what it looks like. And the custody battles that go on, the struggles, the ultra-Orthodox community has a tremendous amount of money behind it and will throw that money at the spouse who stayed and try to take the kids away from the spouse who left. And I think that struggle is underreported and it's very real. And I think the other really big struggle that it gets touched upon, but not really focused on, is the fact that for children who grew up ultra-Orthodox, many of them don't have the skills to survive in the outside world. They don't have the education. A lot of them can't reasonably speak English or read or write. And the enormous struggle that they have. And I was very fortunate that I didn't have that issue because I had grown up secular. But I can imagine that for these, and I know because I know people who went through it, that what they went through to leave and to have to learn everything from scratch. My boss went to apply to college and he was asked if he had a high school diploma and he didn't know what a diploma was. And he was asked to write an essay and he didn't know what an essay was. And everything had to be taught. So the struggle is, there's no happy ending and there's no immediate gratification. You don't just one day flick a switch, walk out and become a different person. And I think that unfortunately, when we see these Hollywood versions of it, that's what it looks like. I just decided and so I walked away, and it doesn't look like that. And before you get to the I just decided, there are years of questioning and thought that go into it.